Is your business venture really a business or a hobby? Well, what would the IRS say? Stay tuned and you'll find out.
Welcome to the WorkHARDaholic Show with your host, the original WorkHARDaholic, Shirley Crawford, author, speaker, and small business consultant for over 20 years, helping you to work hard, play harder, and business better.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to the WorkHARDaholic Show. I am Shirley Crawford, your host, the original WorkHARDaholic, and today, because we've been dealing so much with taxes and other things, I've really been thinking a lot about what makes a business, all right? And for those foundational pieces of your business, what should you have in place? So I want to talk about a few basic things. But first and foremost, I want to talk about your social media. So for those of you who haven't read my book, go pick it up, The ABCs of Social Media Marketing for a professional business, okay? For a professional account. And here's the thing. I get questioned about this a lot. I'm not going to talk about some of the things I talk about in the book, but I want to talk about the aspect of what's the difference between a personal profile and a business page. Did you know there was a difference? All right. I need you to know. So if you have, you're selling lemonade, you're selling socks, you're selling t-shirts, whatever it is that's going on for your business, you want to make sure that you're represented online and you want to make sure you're represented well. So I know we've talked about in the past about how to set up a business page, but just as a reminder, if you have any type of, and this is Facebook, you can actually be looking at the same with regards to Instagram and other platforms. But right now I want to focus on Facebook because Facebook is the foundational platform that all businesses should be on. And then after that, you determine, hey, I do a lot of imagery. I do weddings. I should be on Pinterest. Hey, I do a lot of explanations. I'm a chef and I want to share recipes. I'm on YouTube, right? Although I think everyone should be on YouTube, but that's not where we are right now. Right now, I want to talk about Facebook and a few facts that should help you understand how you should operate as a business owner, an entrepreneur, a side hustler on Facebook, right? So one of the reasons why we talk about having a page versus a profile, anyone can have a profile. If you have an email address, it does not have to be a Google one. If you have any email address, you can set up your free profile. And your profile, we talk about that's like me at 3 a.m. talking to my friends, or I'm sharing things that happened in my life or what I'm eating. I might not be sharing that. You might be sharing that. It's those personal things. And it's a great way for you to stay connected. I have people that I see once a year or once a quarter, when I say a quarter, or, once every 10 years, but we're still able to keep up with one another because they're silently stalking me on Facebook and not saying a word. Or people are generally engaging with you on Facebook or in your social media platforms to stay informed. That's your personal stuff. But for your business, when you're first looking to set up the business page, go back and look at some of our old videos to see how you still have a personal profile and you can attach multiple business pages to that. You can have groups. We're not getting to that. I just want to talk about pages in particular. A Facebook page is a business, it's an entity unto itself, right? Your business page can follow other pages, but it can't follow personal profiles. So if you're out there and you're like, well, I have the WorkHARDaholics page and I want to follow, Christina as an individual, Christina Clark, the proprietor of the Imagine Media Lab. I can follow her page for the Imagine Media Lab, but I can't follow Christina Clark as an individual. So that's one of the big differences. So some of you are out there trying to interact as a page, and there are a few restrictions that you should know about, okay? So let's go back to the beginning. When it comes to having a page, what it also means is that you don't have to be the only one responsible. For those of you who have social media managers or your niece or your nephew or your little cousin, your millennial friend who is out there helping with your page, you can actually make them an administrator. For your personal profile, the only one who can log in is you. Anyone else who's logging in has to have your login information. And I don't know about you, but I'm not sharing that. Period. Right? So, but if you have a page, you can assign admins and you can assign what level of administration or access they can have. So you can have an editor, someone who can come in and just make comments. You can have someone, and the editor can actually go in and make changes. You can have another admin. So admins mean they can do anything, up to the fact that they can actually even delete the page. So be careful with who you make an admin, because emotions get high. I don't want someone deleting your page and everything that you had with it because they got mad at you. Okay? So you can have multiple admins. I just say be careful. You can have an editor. You can have a contributor. So you can just have someone who makes comments but can't really change anything else. All right? So that's the beautiful thing about having a business page, is because that means you can have a team of others who can also have access. And this works out really well if you're doing an event. And so you have to be upfront doing what you're doing. One of your admins can be editing, updating, changing, making comments. This is my thing, right? I love a good live. I need to do more of them, I know. But in general, I love the good live effect, especially if you're teaching a class or you're sharing a moment, you're premiering something. It's great to have others in the group who can answer the questions, who can comment back to the people, who can be engaged while you're presenting. Like right now, I'm doing this. I can't respond to your social media. But if I had someone else as my admin who was with me or even watching, they can be making those comments. Okay? So you also have, as I mentioned before, when it comes to pages can like pages, but you can't add as friends. And there's a difference that also happens because you can actually see the input of what's going on. So on my personal profile, I don't know that you were watching this video. I don't know how you were engaging with me unless you show me. So like if I go live, I can see the counts of how many people viewed it, but I don't know who was watching from my personal profile, right? But when it gets to your page, you can get more information, you can get more insights, you can see statistics. So for your business page is a whole tab called Insights, right? On the Insights tab, you can see statistics about your users, about your posts. And so a lot of times when you are out here and a lot of us only have a little bit of time. We all have the same amount of time, but a lot of us have so many slots filled in our schedules, we don't have time to keep doing something and doing it and not seeing the results. And so utilizing like the insights and the data that you get from the page, you can see which of your posts were the most popular, which ones had the most engagement. If there's a video, you can see how long they watched it. You can see like what users are involved. You can see information about the users, male, female, US, another country, and list several different countries. Like what time of day were they participating? There's a lot of information you can see on Insights when you have a business page as opposed to just a profile. And if you're going, I'm not sure if I have a page or a profile, 99.9% of the time you have a profile. But if you actually go into your profile and click add or create page, then you're going to give it a name and it's going to ask you what kind of page. Is it a celebrity page? Is it, they actually will ask you, influencer page? Is it a business? Is it a cause? So for those of you who have nonprofits, then they have a specific categories for each of you. And they also have a few more clues that they offer you depending on what category you're selecting to help you figure out what your next step should be. All right. So once again, I just want to make sure that you all are utilizing all of your resources to get the message out about your product, your service, your business, your cause, etc. And the way to do that is outside of your personal profile, add a business page. It also gives you some validity, especially for those of you who haven't taken the time to create that website and have that additional way of broadcasting out there that you exist. In the meantime, you can start with your Facebook page, but then you have to grow up from there. All right. So we'll be right back after this commercial break to talk a little bit more about what does the IRS say about your business being a business or a hobby. See you in a moment.
At Richmond Dentistry for Children, Dr. Randy Adams and Dr. Brandon Allen are crazy about your kids and their teeth.
With compassionate care, our professional staff treats your kids like they were our own.
Call us today to make an appointment at 804-780-2888 or check us out on the web at richmonddentistryforchildren.com. Let Richmond Dentistry for Children take care of your kids' teeth today for a healthy tomorrow.
Life can be a struggle. Find hope, healing, and answers at the Abundant Life Church of Christ, a place to encounter God through uplifting worship, singing, prayer, the preach word, and fellowship. One step can change your life. One step could shift your destiny. There has never been a better time to take that step than now. Come be our guest every Sunday at 10 a.m. at the Abundant Life Church of Christ, a place where you belong.
Listen, Attorney Alex Taylor is a soldier in a suit, defending anyone with criminal charges, DUIs, and more. Call Alex Taylor, your soldier in a suit, at 804-500-5000.
I'm Alex Taylor. Don't face your criminal charges alone. Put a former prosecutor with 30 years of experience on your side. Let me show you how a soldier fights for your freedom.
Call 804-500-5000 or go to alextaylorlaw.com.
In honor of the Women's Business Center RVA 5-year anniversary, the countdown is on. Ladies, it's time for the WBC RVA Toolkit. You don't want to miss it. It means every Thursday you co-work not for free, but it's included. So that's co-working every Thursday. Each month there's one seminar and one group coaching. So all day Thursday you can come hang out here at the Women's Business Center RVA, and it's just $25 a month. Tell them about it, Joanne.
Yes. And a couple of the topics that we will be talking about, discussing and reviewing and going through are starting a business the right way, because we do want to start off the right way. We're also going to talk about a business model canvas and how your company creates value for its customers. Also goal setting, which is very important. Finances, even developing your pitch, also social media distribution and content, and much, much more. So we are excited about seeing you there. So you can register today at WBCRVA.com.
Welcome back. Okay. So here's the deal. In the past, we've talked about knowing the difference between a business and a hobby. We've talked about it from your personal perspective, right? Because here's the thing. A lot of you will come in, like we know, I've been doing small business consulting for over a quarter of a century. Woo, that's a long time. And you all come in with these business ideas. And then when we sit down and talk, we realize it's a hobby. It's not a way for you to make business. It's not a business. It's a hobby. And so the things that you're doing are not things that are sustainable and making you money. You're doing these things and they're great and they're wonderful and they're marvelous, but no one wants them. So no one will pay you for them. And so you're paying to do this product. You're paying people basically to use what you've created. And so, but this time around, I don't want to talk about it so much from that personal aspect of, hey, I have a business idea and I want to get started. Is it really a business or a hobby? I want to talk about, what does the IRS say about, is it a business or a hobby? Okay. So here's the thing. When you have a business, be it a side hustle, it's a gig, it's Uber, you're independently contracting, you're doing gig work, you can actually, there are certain things you can write off on your taxes. There are actual benefits to you, right? You can be making purchases. So for you perfect example, you avid photographers out there. When we talk about business or hobby, then you're going, okay, well, I bought the camera, I bought the lenses. I'm looking for an E-mount right now. See, as you can tell, Christina has to give me this knowledge. I'm looking for an E-mount with a low f-stop and all this good stuff, right? And so it's great that I bought this camera and I'm looking for the, attachments, which are quite expensive, FYI. But here's the thing. If I'm using it for personal purposes, like I just love to take pictures. I'm getting ready for our trip that we're having, thank the Lord, later on this year. And I just want to make sure I document it. So I have this camera. That's a hobby. Even if I come back and show the pictures, if there is no financial gain, it's just for fun. The IRS breaks it down even further, right? But here's the thing. If you are doing it as a business, now if I'm going and I'm taking this trip, which I am, looking forward to it. And I sell those photos, even if I use them in my videos as like, instead of buying from someone else, I get them for myself. We're talking more on the lines of a business. And now I can write off those lenses, that equipment, as long as it was towards business purposes. Now, once again, I haven't said my standard disclaimer, not your attorney, not your CPA. This is for edutainment purposes. That's educational entertainment. I just want to keep you informed and give you the information so that you can go out, do the research, hire the CPA, hire the attorney, get what you need to make sure that you can have that successful business. All right, disclaimer out of the way. Great. Let's keep going. So here is the thing. The IRS, when it's looking at your business to determine if it's really a hobby, it's a couple things that are going on. There used to be a time when people would start a business so that they could have losses because they were making six figures or more. And so they're going, oh, I have all this money and I need some tax deductions. And maybe they maxed out on the nonprofit giving. I don't know the reasons why. But lots of people were trying to find some other ways to have some losses they could write off on their taxes to decrease their tax burden. And so potentially even get a return. Look at that, right? And so it's a game that's been run for eons, right? Everybody's been trying to do it. Everyone's working at it. So they might say they had a business. But here's the deal. The IRS is like, we're not stupid. They're bureaucratic, but they're not stupid. And so they're like, I'm not going to accept this anymore. So if you have a business and it's been running for 3 years or so and it has no profit, then the IRS is going to start cracking down, especially between the years of 2018 and 2025. And they're going to be looking for you to document to show, hey, we were trying to make money. We wanted to make money. Money was the objective. Money was the goal. We didn't put in our dollars just so we could have a tax write-off. We were here to do business, but this crash happened, or this product wasn't as, stellar, or it's taking longer to, I don't know what your reasons are, but I'm telling you now, get your reasons in place, okay? So when they're talking about, are you a business or a hobby, then, as I said, they're looking at are you earning a profit piece, right? And here's the other side of that. If it is a hobby and you've been making money, like you came out of the gate swinging and you were making money, the IRS is classifying it as a business almost instantaneously, and it's also expecting you to pay your taxes on monies earned. I will always say the IRS is the biggest gangster known to mankind. And they're the only one who's been able to put away like drug lords and criminals, not for their activity, but because they evaded their taxes. Okay, so be aware. So here are a few of the factors that the IRS looks at to determine whether or not you are a business or a hobby. So 1, do you put in the necessary time and effort to turn a profit? Like I talked about that equipment. The camera that I purchased, other than having Christina look at it, it's sitting in the bag and I haven't even used it yet. I'm coming to that, all right? So clearly I'm not trying to make money with it. I just have it. I am going to pull it out though. Like I said, got a trip coming out. Have you made a profit in this activity in the past, or can you expect to make one in the future? So maybe you have, I had a client who had this product that basically they got from NASA. And so they would use the product. And so sometimes you have these things that require FDA approval, or you have to go through research. So sometimes you're putting in a lot of money. There's a reason you're not making any money yet. But the moment that it clears, it's going to be a boom. It's going to make a bunch of money. So do you have a plan for how it's going to make money? Are you sure that it's going to? I mean, as sure as you can be, right? The third thing, do you have the necessary knowledge to succeed in this field? It's not funny, but I trip off of this because I have people who come to me like, I'm going to start XYZ, and they know nothing about it. How are you going to do it? Are you saying you're bringing on a team? You're going to have some people to assist you, and that's not their conversation. No, I'm just going to do it. I love persistence and determination, but hubris, right? This idea that you think that I can do anything, not without some help. Let me know that you're going to take classes, certifications. How are you going to make sure that you have the knowledge that you need to succeed in your field? The other one, the fourth one they look at is, do you depend on this income from this activity? So you are side hustling, you're selling, I always say paparazzi, Avon. I just got another call from a Mary Kay rep. Whatever the case may be. Do you depend on this income? Is it helping you pay for your gas? Is it really doing anything for you? Or is it just something, recreational? Right? Are your losses beyond your control? So the reason that you haven't made money is because what? Because you started off this business of arbitrage, and you're getting your projects from your products from China, and the U.S. shut down that trade for a little while and limited those items, and you had to have a workaround. Not sure, but those are the types of things that the IRS is looking at to determine whether or not you have a business or a hobby. So once again, do you put in the necessary time and effort to turn a profit? Secondly, have you made a profit in this activity in the past, or can you expect to make one in the future? Number 3, do you have the necessary knowledge to succeed in this field? Number 4, do you depend on income from this activity? And number 5, are your losses beyond your control? That's where we scratch the surface with the IRS to find out whether you have a business or a hobby. All right, after this commercial break, we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about not just the IRS, but what changes has the Biden administration made that can have an impact on your gig work right after this commercial break. Are you only identified as mommy, as the employee, as the worker bee? You know what? It's time for you to be identified as you. There is more to you than your function for others. Come discover it at the Diva Mastermind Retreat. That stands for doing it very authoritatively. It's time for you to find your voice, find your place, and make your mark. Join us October 7th through 11th this year in 2024 in Outer Banks, North Carolina, where we'll help you with mastermind moments. We'll help you with seminars, sessions, and the camaraderie of other boss ladies just like you. Don't forget to join us for the fun. Visit Diva Mastermind at groovepages.com to get your ticket today. Only 3 spots left. We'll see you then.
Listen, attorney Alex Taylor is a soldier in a suit, defending anyone with criminal charges, DUIs, and more. Call Alex Taylor, your soldier in a suit, at 804-500-5000.
I'm Alex Taylor. Don't face your criminal charges alone. Put a former prosecutor with 30 years of experience on your side. Let me show you how a soldier fights for your freedom.
Call 804-500-5000 or go to alextaylorlaw.com.
At Richmond Dentistry for Children, Dr. Randy Adams and Dr. Brandon Allen are crazy about your kids and their teeth.
With compassionate care, our professional staff treats your kids like they were our own.
Call us today to make an appointment at 804-780-2888 or check us out on the web at richmonddentistryforchildren.com. Let Richmond Dentistry for Children take care of your kids' teeth today for a healthy tomorrow.
Ladies, are you looking to move your office from your kitchen table to a space of your own? Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Are you looking for co-working and community? Well, then come join us at the Women's Business Center, RVA, located at 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100, directly across the street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn. Visit us on the web at wbcrva.com or on social media at WBCRVA. When you're ready for more than just office space, come join the WBCRVA family.
Welcome back. Okay, so we've been talking about things that legitimize your business. So the Facebook page talked about understanding how the IRS perceives your business as a business or a hobby. And now I really want to talk about what's going on with this new ruling from the Biden administration. And it's getting mixed feedback, but it went into place on March 11th. So it's out there, it's already started, it's already begun. So hopefully you're aware of it as a business owner, but if not, that's why we're sharing it, okay? So according to the McKinsey study, about 36% of those who responded are gig employees. They're gig workers. Not employees, gig workers, right? And that goes from everything from lawyers to Uber drivers to traveling nurses, the whole nine. There are a lot of you out there, especially since COVID, who have decided, I want to take control of my own business, my own time, and I want to work. I want to work for you, but only as a contractor. Some of you haven't had a choice, that you have had industries that have been like, oh, we're only hiring contract workers. There's a lot of this happening in like IT, right? And so part of it sounds sexy because it means there are no more non-competes in these areas, right? I hope if you're a gig worker, you did make sure that you didn't sign a non-compete agreement. Like if you're a gig worker and you're not the employee, then why would you say I'm only going to work for you? That means really you're an employee. You're part of the reason why this whole new ruling came to place. So at one point, President Trump had a ruling with regards to how to determine an employee versus a contractor. And now the Department of Labor under the Biden administration has basically thrown that one away and reconstructed a new one. And there's been a lot of conversation about it. It literally went into effect on March 11th. And so we talked about previously on the show, we've talked about how do you know that you are a contractor versus an employee. And I always say it comes down to this basic rule. I'll tell you what the Trump piece is, but I always say it came down to this really basic rule. I always tell my businesses to think about it as the plumber. When you hire a plumber, you tell them what the problem is. You say, there's a leak in my faucet. This is what's going on. I'm having problems with my water pressure. And the plumber and their expertise tells you when they're coming and what they're going to do. They use their own equipment. They use their own knowledge. And you're only there to check in to make sure that they are under budget, right? That they're not charging you more than they said. And you're making sure that you're overseeing to make sure the work is getting done. But really, other than that, you're hands off because that's their expertise. And you just step away. You make sure that they're using rags and cleaning up after themselves. You take care of your stuff, but they take care of their business. If you have someone that you have doing work for you and you are requiring more of them than that, then 99.9% of the time, they're actually an employee and not a contractor. And so the whole piece of the conversation came about because the IRS in particular and the Department of Labor have really been watching this for some time because having a contractor versus having an employee, there's a difference of like 30% more to have an employee than a contractor. Think about it. You're paying for health care. You're paying for medical leave. You're paying for family leave. You're paying for vacation time. You're paying for however they are housing or dealing with, like whatever they're, as far as housing, I mean office space, et cetera, right? You're dealing with a lot more expenses than just, you're a contractor, I pay you for doing this, to build this, to give me that. That's all we're dealing with, right? And so Department of Labor has issued a lot of penalties in the past for people saying that someone was a contractor, but they were an employee. And I think about it, I can see both sides of this coin because I can think of times repeatedly where I've seen people who were hired as a contractor, but they did everything for the company other than receive benefits. They were there for the 9 to 5, like every other employee. They were, giving timesheets to say that they were coming in and out. They had to fulfill all of the company policies. They even went to like the company Christmas parties. Like they were really a part of the team, but they were supposed to be a contractor. So they had all the work and none of the benefit. And so that's why the government has been cracking down on it. But there's been some pushback with regards to the new Biden rules because they're saying it's much stricter. And so on the other side of that, as a business owner, let's think about Uber and Lyft are two of the companies that they're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen, to see if it impacts them. But some of these rules could very easily apply to their people as well. And that changes the entire structure of their business, right? So let's talk about the new DOL rule. There are 6 factors that they use to determine whether or not a person is an employee or a contractor. So the degree to which the employer controls how the work is done. Remember going back to that plumber rule? That's the one we've always gone by. The second way, the worker's opportunity for profit or loss. So when you come work for a company, if your computer and something happens to it, it's nothing to do with you. The company replaces it, right? But when you're a contractor, then that's your loss. You pay for it. So if you have an opportunity for profit, like your profit sharing or that you gain something from it, or your opportunity for loss, and this is something else they're looking at in this new rule. The third thing, the amount of skill and initiative required for the work. How specialized is the area that you're doing? Number 4, the degree of permanence of the working relationship. So you have a contractor that's been with you for 5 years and there's no end in sight, then maybe they really are an employee, okay? The worker's investment in equipment or materials required for the task. When you work for someone, they normally provide everything, right? You're just supposed to show up and do the work. And then number 6, the extent to which the service rendered is an integral part of the employer's business. So if you're a contractor, but you are essential, you might be an actual employee. So with President Trump, the ruling was made back in 2021, and there were just 2 core criteria: the nature and degree of control over the work and the opportunity for profit and loss. But as you can see with this new regulation, which once again just went into effect in March 11th, 2024 is when this ruling went into place. And so now the Biden administration is being sued by several trade organizations. I believe there's a Chamber of Commerce that's actually suing, and because people are protesting about this regulation. So we're going to wait it out and see how it goes. But in the meantime, if you are someone who hires contractors, you're going to make sure that you pass the test so that you won't be sued, that you won't be, sought after legally. We don't want you to have any repercussions. So this is why we want you to be informed and aware to know, is this person that you're looking to bring on a contractor, or really are they an employee? All right. Once again, it's been our pleasure to come and see you all and share this information. This is the WorkHARDaholic Show with Shirley Crawford, your favorite workaholic. And as we always say, live better, do better, be better, and happy entrepreneuring. Ta-ta.
Like, share, subscribe, repeat. Like, share, subscribe, repeat. 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 Thanks for tuning in to WorkHARDaholics. Support our show by following on YouTube and all major social media platforms at WorkHARDaholic. Until next week, happy entrepreneuring.